Hi lovelies, Barbara here with another tarot reading for the week ahead. It's Monday the 8th of September 2025. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Did the full moon of yesterday affect anybody? It affected me all week, and the amount of people I've spoken to who've had headaches and things like that, feeling poorly, all this week leading up to yesterday. So today it's sort of the first day I've actually felt normal. Whatever normal is. Anyway, so I hope you all survived the week leading up to the full moon. Anyway, let's get on with your reading. So this week we have the Tarot Illuminati. There's the backs of the cards, quite nice, bit shiny, there we are. So there are 5 cards as per usual. And the interesting thing, you know, last week it was very exciting, wasn't it, last week? This is a little bit more subdued, which sort of matches really that sort of full moon, because now of course it's waning, even only just, but throughout the week it's beginning to wane. So the card of the week, the main lead card this week, is the Ace of Wands. Well, wands are all about fire and transformation and movement and things like that. So it doesn't sort of match, does it? It'll make sense as we go along. So we've got the Ace of Wands. I love this one. Oh, look, do you know, I didn't even notice that in the background. You've got this wonderful sort of town in the background. And it's just like, literally, this is being offered to you. Feel this week, we have all got opportunities, or one opportunity particularly, coming towards us. Now, it might not be anything hugely amazing, like it's going to transform your life. It's only an ace, and it's a seed, and it's being offered, and it's up to you to plant that seed and build on it. I will say that I feel it's going to be linked to something that you already do in some way. So, for instance, perhaps if you're very crafty, because remember, wands are all about sort of movement and things and creativity. So say it's craft, it could be to do with your career, your job, that it's like a tweak that can push you in the right direction. And that's fantastic, great. You know, when you're doing something, you're plodding along quite happily, you know, I'm quite happy what I'm doing. And then suddenly you get this almost like an idea, but this opportunity, oh, never thought about that. That's a good point. Perhaps I could bring that into what I'm doing already. And that itself will set you off in a slightly different sort of direction. It's not going to completely catapult you somewhere else. It's all about building on what you've already got almost. So there we are. So what's that in a minute? Oh, we've still got some challenges, remember? Remember, there's a mountain here. Mountains represent challenges. So it's not going to be easy. Don't think you're going to get it handed on a plate. It's an opportunity. You don't know what direction that's going to come from. But nevertheless, keep your eyes and ears and your mind, though it's a one, open to actually embrace this opportunity that's coming in. Don't discount it, is what I'm saying. All right, you might have to think about it a long time and things like that, but do not discount it, because it could be very, very useful, even if you don't use it now. However, what's the next card? Oh, so if you do that, you've got another wand. Now we've got the 6 of Wands. That's the victory card. Let's have a good look at this, because I haven't really looked at it properly. I just pulled the cards. Wow. Oh, this is very nice. So there he is on his white charger. I have been victorious. Remember, the 6 of Wands isn't about winning the war. It's about winning the battle. So you've still got work to do as you move on. But there's people looking up and going, wow, look at you. Yeah, I'm going to follow you. This is interesting, because the only thing, I look at cards from all sides now, they're not clouds, you know, they're cards. All really positive cards also have a negative, you know, side of it, as per negative cards have positive sides to it. Now, I will say all these onlookers are going, wow, you're great. Be aware they could decide to jump on your bandwagon. So I would say specifically, if you're in a job, for instance, or you're in a group of people, just be aware that at the moment you are fantastic. You know, everybody's looking at you. Yeah, oh yeah, I really like what she's doing. Be aware you could be pushed off that horse. So don't get too smug about it. And I am going to say, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer still. This is very much a week of, do you know, there's a fly flying around here. It's really annoying me. It's very much a case of, yeah, not say you could lose it overnight, but just be aware there are people there who are thinking, so if you're designing something, you're creating something new, back to the, you know, that first wand, I would say don't broadcast it too much, because other people may be in a better position than you, that they can actually utilize that and use it for their own ends. So it's a little bit of a warning week this week. And there's nothing wrong about keeping things to your chest sometimes, and then you can really perfect it so it really works well. So, oh, here we are. So, and this sort of backs it up really. So here we have the King of Swords looking remarkably like Henry VIII there. Now, if you look at him very carefully, he's got his arms crossed here. He is blocking himself. He's very aloof. He is in control, but he's keeping everybody at a distance, and he's backing this thing. I'm not saying suddenly shut yourself away for a week or 2 weeks or anything like that. Still, you know, enjoy your life and everything. Just be aware what you're telling people. There are some things you need to keep secret. And you know what? I do feel that there could be some information coming to you about other people as well, that you really need to keep it quiet. You know, even if they said, oh no, this is a secret, don't mention it. If you're thinking, oh, what if I should say that? Then don't, okay? Because it can come back and bite you the same way. And remember, swords are about communication. He is very much in control. He's not letting any information out that he doesn't need to. So he's only telling people what they need to know at this time, not necessarily what they can utilize for their own benefits. That sounds a bit wrong, because people in a spiritual sort of world, we tend to give a lot. This is a time that you need to look after yourself, okay, this week. And that leads on to the Seven of Pentacles. Now, back to that ace right at the beginning, this offer of something that you can, you know, not manipulate, that's the wrong word, but well, yeah, okay, why not manipulate, to help you progress further in whatever area of your life that you really enjoy. This is not about, well, it could be about a career. If you really enjoy your career and what you're doing, yeah, great. It can help you in that way. But anything at all, even if it's, I don't know, gardening or something like that, it's that information. Now, that's silly. I don't know where this is coming from, because I haven't even got a garden. You know, it could be that somebody's let you know, do you know what, they're doing a big sale down at the local garden centre. Keep it, you know, quiet. You're there first in the queue, so you can create this amazing garden with all the plants you've always wanted to utilise but could never afford. Things like that. I know it's a bizarre way of putting at it. You see where I'm coming from. So here we have the Seven of Pentacles. So this guy, oh, probably that's where I got the idea of the garden. He's got everything growing in his garden. It's not that he's unhappy. He's actually like, what do I do next? Back to that ace. So if you utilize that Ace of Wands to create that enjoyment and enthusiasm of what you're doing, yes, remember, Pentacles is all about security and potentially money. It depends how you're looking at it. But it's how you feel about what you're doing. Yeah, I feel very secure in what I do. I feel, you know, empowered by it. Back to the wands, empowerment. But he's like, what do I do next? So he's actually leaning on what could be classed as a wand. That could be that original wand that he was actually passed right at the beginning. Where can I take this? Where can I take this to now? There's a bit of West Country coming out. Where can I move this to? What can I do with this? I've done really well with what I've gotten so far. What tweak can I do now? Do I sell all this? I'm not telling you to sell what you've done. Can I sell all this and perhaps just replant one thing? Or can I invest the whole lot into something that can really benefit me long term? So you have to decide. Remember, sevens are all about making decisions and things like that. And that's very much what he's trying to do. What do I do next? Because Pentacles don't necessarily think. You've got to go back to that King of Swords to really decide what you're going to do with this. Now, this is where we're back to the warning. We've got 2 sevens. Now, if this was, I was laying this down on a table sort of thing, as opposed to showing you in front of a camera, 2 sevens together. 7 plus 7 is 14. 1 plus 4 equals 5. What are 5s? They're wobble cards. So, though it's decisions, he's making a decision. He's nicking all this stuff. I'll leave those 2 things behind. They'll never know I've taken it, you know. That could very well represent what you're left if you start, not bragging, but talking to people about what your intentions are. This is very much a week, like I said, a little bit of a warning this week. It's just sometimes, no matter how excited you are about something that you've come up with and that you've been offered, keep it quiet. You know, if you've suddenly discovered something, I don't know where this is coming from. Say you've been sorting out your house and you found something, oh, that looks quite valuable. And you go and get it valued. Oh, wow, it's worth, I don't know, £1,000, say. And, oh, yeah, let's tell everybody. Yeah, don't, okay? First of all, it might not be worth £1,000, and something's only valuable if you can sell it or utilise it in any way. It's like a house. A house is only worth what somebody's prepared to buy, you know, buy it for. Ex-estate agent. There we are. But there we are. So the 7, there's this person there. Thanks for giving me that information. I'm going to go off and use it myself. They use it. You've lost out. Now, that's 5 cards. That's all 5 cards there. That's not a great ending. And I must admit, I was a bit like, okay, it's just like summing up this week. It's time to be quiet. But I'm going to draw another card because I just want to know what happens with this if you are careful in what you say, okay? Because that's the overall interpretation of this reading this week. So hang on. There we go. What's that? Oh, 9 of Pentacles. So let's put that down. So remember we had that 7 of Pentacles. And look at this. It's the harvest. Very relevant. You know, bearing in mind yesterday was the harvest moon, I believe. Corn moon. Harvest moon, corn moon, whatever. So here she is. She has got... Actually, am I right in thinking? Yep. So unlike Rider Waite, where the falcon has a hood on, this one hasn't. This can go wherever it chooses to go. She's not necessarily in control of this. She can let that go and he can go. It can go wherever it needs to go. Not a case of removing a hood. So this 9 of Pentacles indicates if you're very careful, then it can become something that is very... close to your heart, I'm going to say, though it's not cardigan, though it's not a cup, it's that security that I'm so glad I didn't open my mouth and let this. I'm so glad I can build on this thing because the long-term benefits are going to be there. Well, it could be short-term benefits, but nevertheless, look at the way she's dressed here. So this is a very important week in as much as that opportunity coming in. Don't discount it. That's very, very important. But equally, don't share it with everyone. You know, even if it's a complete stranger, you know, you're sitting on a bus, if you catch the bus, say, oh, guess what? Da, 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 da. They can go away and think, oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to take that. So, oh, I didn't know about that new job coming up. Oh, that's a really good idea. I didn't know that premises was available to rent. It depends what it is. Nevertheless, keep it quiet. Work on it. Only you can work on it. It's a seed. It's up to you. You can completely ignore it if you want, and you're not going to end up with that. But just be quiet about it. No matter how close you are to someone, you can give them a little bit perhaps if you're very close to someone, best friend, you know, husband, whatever. But don't brag about it. Just don't. Be careful. What I'm saying is be careful who you tell this week. Otherwise, you won't get to that. What you will get is possibly that. So have an enjoyable week. Look out for that opportunity. I think it's only one. That is just, it could be so small, but it can not transform your life, but it can push you on the way to a happier life, a more fulfilling life. So, like I said, have a great week. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.